Hi, welcome to the Jason Parker Power Hour. Glad to have you guys with me. I don't know why I'm moving my hand so much. I guess it's all the coffee I had today. On this episode, to start, I have one of my favorite yet worst stories of all time. Definitely one of the most traumatic things that ever happened to me. Traumatic to the point of not being like attacked or almost murdered or almost drowning or anything like that. This story takes place in the early 90s. I'm in 6th grade. I'm on the bus. By the way, 6th grade, middle school, there's a big difference between 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. It's that part where everybody kind of hits the growth spurt. So those 8th graders, man, they're terrifying big scary kids. So I'm on the school bus. I hear these two 8th graders behind me, and they're talking about how cool Michael Bolton is. I'm sorry. I'd seen Michael Bolton on some specials running around with his guitar, and I could just tell he wasn't cool. So I called him out on it. I said, yo, Michael Bolton sucks. Well, these kids, who, by the way, they were like the troublemaker kids in school. They definitely kind of like the chip on their shoulder, which is, of course, my mistake for messing with them. But of all the things to be a fan of, Michael Bolton. So I called him out. And the rest of the school bus ride on my way home, they proceeded to spit on me. I'm not a narc, so I didn't tell the school bus driver, but I literally for 20 minutes was spit on about 30 times. And I remember getting off the school bus and just crying, and I took my jacket off. It was covered in all these loogies. By the way, one of these kids' name was Justin. Colony Middle, Justin. I'm gonna get you one of these days. Probably class of 96 or 97, jerk. But I remember taking my jacket off. It's just covered in loogies, and I remember like rubbing it in the snow just to get all the loogies off so my family wouldn't like ask me what had happened. But looking back now, I can kind of laugh about it. But it's one of those things where I often think if I ever see that kid, who I'm sure I'm much bigger than, but maybe I'm not, kind of just give him a punch in the face, but probably not. Maybe I just spit on him and run away. Who knows? It was definitely embarrassing, but I'm glad I can laugh about it now, and hopefully everybody else out there who's possibly watching this and getting bullied can realize that it doesn't matter how horrible the thing that happens to them, short of like physical abuse, that there's, at a certain point you'll probably be able to laugh about it. My movie of the week, I saw this at the AFI Festival a few months ago. And I'm super excited to see that it's already available on Netflix. It's a film called Mr. Roosevelt. It's Noelle Wells' first feature film. She wrote and directed it down in Austin. It's about a woman who, kind of an actress, she leaves Austin to come to crappy LA to be an actress. Things aren't going that great for her, and her ex-boyfriend calls her and says, yo, the cat that we had together is dying, you need to come back here. So she goes back. That's Mr. Roosevelt, by the way, is the cat. He, of course, has a new girlfriend. He's lost a bunch of weight. The new girlfriend is amazing. Noelle Wells, you might know her from, she was the girlfriend in season 1 of Master of None, who she kind of rubbed me the wrong way on that season. I was really glad when Dev broke up with her. I was glad their relationship ended. But she's great in this. And it's definitely one of those movies where you kind of like know where it's going. Police helicopter. Nice. Oh, no, that might be the news actually. We got the freeway right over here, so there's always plenty of action. As I was saying, it's definitely a movie where you kind of know where the story's going, and you kind of know all these points it's going to hit, but they're still hilarious. And one of the standouts for me in the cast is Danielle Pineda. I hope I pronounced that right. She is in the new Jurassic World movie, which is going to be awesome. She was actually in an episode of Inside Amy Schumer. It's the Two Girls One Cup episode where she's the other girl with Amy Schumer on the couch when they're discussing the role that they're going to be in. But she's amazing in it, and definitely she's worth it watching for alone. So I definitely say check out Mr. Roosevelt. My song pick of the week is Love Is All I Got by electronic DJ house producer Feed Me and electronic folk group Crystal Fighters. The song came out in 2012 on Deadmau5's Mousetrap record label. Great single, definitely like super poppy, super electronic-y, but not to the point of kind of annoyingness, but just a great song to put on when you're kind of cruising around, whatever street you may be on, whether you're on sunny streets of Los Angeles or the freezing streets of Minnesota right now. It's definitely one of my faves at the moment. My TV show pick of the week is The Great British Baking Show, or The Great British Bake Off, depending how you want to call it. I love it. Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry, they were in the original couple seasons. I think Mary Berry's gone now, but Paul Hollywood's on it. Paul Hollywood came to the American version, which if nobody knows, it got canceled after 2 episodes because of one of the hosts is a scuzzbag sexual predator. So they canceled the show. They literally did on Netflix or Hulu, they only have a clip at the very of basically the finale of the person being I won the show, I won this season, even though you'll never see it. I felt bad for everybody in the cast. But I guess if you had a really bad episode, it's you got kicked off the show, it was good for you because nobody gets to see how bad you baked. And there's actually talks of bringing Mary Berry back for the American they'll do another reboot of the American show, which is funny because it's the Great American Bake Off, but it's shot in the same place in the UK. But it's a great show. If you're passionate about baking, this is definitely a great show to watch. And if you're not passionate about baking and want to learn something about baking, it's awesome too. And they also have kind of a spin-off where Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood show you the proper way of cooking everything or baking everything on the show, and it gets me going. I wanna make these sweet little treats and stuff that are super British, little crisps and all the other great stuff. Speaking of food, my restaurant choice of the week is up in Seattle, should I say, on 3rd Avenue. I know Mario Batali's not a fan favorite right now, but this is Mario Batali's father's restaurant. His whole family runs it. Mario Batali's sister was in there when I went in a couple years ago. It's called Salumi. They do salumi. I had first heard about them on Anthony Bourdain's show when he was up in Seattle. I went there a few years ago and just had a blast. I suggest get the salumi plate and also get a meatball sub. Eat half the meatball sub, eat some of the salumi, and just kind of take it with you and kind of munch throughout the day. That's what I did. They're only open from 11 to 3:30, so it's just a lunch thing. But they open at 11. You better get in line at 10, because if you show up at 11, there's going to be 40 people in line. It's a great spot. It's cool to see the Batali family all there, just kind of working. There's the grandkids that you can tell, and the nieces and nephews who do not want to be there, just with any family run restaurant, but they still do a great job and super knowledgeable, and just really great meat that's made there, cured there in Seattle. My wife, people are always asking her how my wife is doing. She had surgery yesterday to get a port put into her head. Her cancer has moved into her spinal fluid. The most chemotherapies, they don't cross the blood-brain barrier. There's kind of its own separate thing in the brain and the spinal fluid. So yesterday they had to drill a hole into her head to put a port in so they can put medicine in. As I said, if you're looking for a good somebody to donate to, metaviver.org. If you don't know about metastatic breast cancer or metastatic cancer in general, it's something to research because there's a good chance it's going to affect someone in your life. As usual, All the links will be on the bio for this video to any of the things I've talked about. Check it out, comment, share, please, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a great week. Thank you.